Hey everyone, so I have a few Bobbi Brown bits to show to you today, and I haven't actually bought anything from Bobbi Brown in quite a while. Well, I got like one of their concealers, a few of their concealers and stuff like that, but like apart from maybe like base or skin stuff, I haven't gotten anything else. So I wanted to try out some of their eyeshadows. They've recently released some, what do they call them, metallic longwear cream eyeshadows and new metallic normal eyeshadows. So I picked up a few of the bits, but I will start off with one of their long-standing products. So this is just their regular long wear cream eyeshadow, and they have I think 19 in total of these in their collection or thereabouts, and this one costs $24.50 here in Ireland. So if you think about that, it's actually quite expensive compared to say MAC, which would, a paint pot of MAC's is about 19 euros I think, and you tend to get a bit more of product from MAC for the same thing, but they are a little bit different. I find these are a bit more hardcore for lasting. Before I ever had a MAC Painterly paint pot or anything like that, I owned the Bone of this, the Bone cream eyeshadow, and I used it for years and years and years, and I loved it. It was just such a lovely off-white kind of creamy yellow based base for my eyes, and I thought it was brilliant. So this one is number 43, Black Violet, and it's just a really lovely dark grey purple. So, and they have a very lovely kind of creamy feel. You can tell that there's silicone in them as well though. So it's just like that, a really lovely dark, what's that vegetable I'm trying to think of? Aubergine, that's it, aubergine shade. So I think I'll definitely pick up a few more of these because they have quite a good shade range with the 19 available, and of course like with they have a few more colours available as well than say the MAC paint pots or the Maybelline Colour Tattoos have, so I definitely want to try out a couple more of them. But what I was really interested in are the new metallic shades that they brought out. So this guy here is Black Pearl, so this one here was Black Violet, and this one here is Black Pearl, number 6. So they only have I think 6 of these metallic longwear eyeshadows, or the cream eyeshadows. We'll see if they bring out more in the future. This one is a lovely, it kind of reminds me of Shale by MAC, silvery purple, and of course it has that light reflection because it is kind of glittery, and it's a really lovely light shade. This again is $24.50 as well. All the 6 shades in the range look really, really nice. I will put swatches on my blog. I don't obviously have them, but I can get them from the Bobbi Brown website, but you can just check the Bobbi Brown website yourselves as well. And this, once it dries, it does dry fairly quickly. Like this first swatch here is drying pretty quickly. I remember anyhow from having Bone that it did dry quickly. So you get 3.5 grams of product in this wee thing. So I was just comparing that to the MAC paint pot, and the MAC paint pot is 5 grams of product, so there is 1.5 extra grams in the MAC paint pot, but that'll just give you an idea anyhow. And then the one that I'm wearing today is this other metallic longwear cream eyeshadow, and it's this one, Goldstone. This is very like a pewter kind of shade of gold, a really lovely neutral kind of silvery gold. And again, it has that high metallic finish, so you can see obviously compared to the regular long wearing eyeshadow that you know, this one is much more matte compared to these, which are hugely light reflective. So I did apply this onto the eye, first using my fingers and then using a brush. So I'll just go into the application on this first. So I applied it to the first eye using my finger just to see how well it would blend on with that, and I wanted to blend it out totally with my finger as well. So it went on pretty well. It didn't seem to go patchy or anything like that. I'd always struggle a tiny bit blending out the edge just with the finger, but all in all it went on really smooth and easy, and it doesn't feel half as bitty as maybe it looks. It's just very light reflective because of all the wee little particles in it. Then I applied it to the other eye using a synthetic brush. I felt like the brush didn't maybe pick up as much product as my finger did. I had to kind of dip back into the eyeshadow a little bit more, but saying that, I ended up with a thicker covering and more opaque coverage of the eyeshadow. So I did prefer applying it with the brush a little bit, and of course it blended it out a little bit around the edge as well. And even though it is quite bitty, like looking on, it's not a big bitty, like it looks more bitty than it feels, or then when you look up really close it actually isn't that bitty. There's just obviously the flecks are sitting in a way where the light is hitting them at different angles, so it looks a bit more, it doesn't look as smooth as maybe it actually is on the lids. So I actually think it's a lovely finish, and I really like how it looks. And of course then you can see that I have the dark green on the outer corner, so I decided to pick up one of their regular eyeshadows as well. I don't actually have any of their eyeshadows. Now these wee things just pop out, I think, as far as I know, yeah, and you can buy the palettes. So I think I'll definitely be buying a couple more of these because I'm really impressed with this eyeshadow. I'm very impressed with the colour payoff. They cost €22.50 here in Ireland, which again is a massive hike up from a MAC eyeshadow, because a MAC eyeshadow costs €16 here in Ireland, and you get 2.8 grams of eyeshadow for this. But if you think about it, a MAC eyeshadow is only 1.5 grams, so you're actually getting nearly twice the amount for here. So when you talk about value for money, it's actually really good. Now this metallic one, I think it's new. Maybe it's just, they brought out new kind of glittery eyeshadows. Maybe they're the only ones that are new. But anyhow, there are about 12 in this particular range. So they have their regular eyeshadows. They have the sheer shimmery ones, which are very sheer kind of finish. They have the kind of glittery ones, and then they have these ones which are metallic finishes. So this guy here is absolutely beautiful. It's number 6 Forest, and it's this dark, beautiful khaki green. Obviously, one thing I did notice, and you'll see it maybe in a sec when I'm showing the application, there was a lot of fallout, so I would absolutely recommend doing your eye makeup first and finishing off your base afterwards. It's probably because there are loads of little particles in this, and it was blending over, I suppose, that more kind of bitty base, so maybe some of those bits as they were drying when I was blending over them could have just been falling as well, because I just had loads of little glittery bits. But I mean, that's not a big issue. I often do my eye makeup beforehand anyhow, so I'll just show you the application of this now. So I used an eyeshadow brush made of natural hairs to pick up this product, because natural hairs will always grab onto shadows, or rather powder shadows, much better than a synthetic brush, so it'll help minimize any fallout. And you can see how well this colour immediately took to its base. I do think though that the metallic cream eyeshadow I had on under may have distorted the finish ever so slightly of this eyeshadow, so I may just leave the metallic eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow, for the main lid, and then have the eyeshadow go over a more smooth base in the future. And one thing I did notice is, as you can see it now, there was a lot of fallout, so there was a lot of wee bits of glitter and tiny little black particles falling down under the eye. But where I suffered the most fallout was when I got to this stage, which is the blending stage, because I think it started to move some of the wee particles in the cream eyeshadow that were dry underneath, and obviously as well some of the shimmer on the actual shadow itself was falling as well. So it's definitely something you want to be aware of, and you would probably want to do your eyes before your base. And I think they're lovely, really lovely bits. I'm really impressed with these. I'm really happy with them, and I definitely plan on absolutely getting more of these guys. I think I'll try just getting some of the regular ones as well. I'm not going to get all metallics because I've plenty of metallics as it is, but I'd like to maybe get, I think you can get like a 6 or a 4 palette, or maybe even an 8 palette. I'll buy one of the empty palettes anyhow and get a few to put into it, because I love my palettes, and I do like the fact that I can just flip between, put them in my palettes and easily putting them back in these if I want, because obviously, you know, with the MAC ones you buy them for the palettes or you buy them singularly, unless you're going to faff about with you know, doing a DIY job of depotting them, which can be a pain in the backside. Then you just have to keep them separate, and then of course if you do depot them you can't put them back in very easily. So I like the fact that I can easily just pop this out and that's it. So like I said, they're $22.99. And now a really handy thing for people in Ireland, I'd say most people know this already, but Brown Thomas now have an online shop. You used to only be able to buy in-store, or if you rang them up you could do mail order, but it's not like you know, particularly had the products in front of you to look at and whatever. So now you can buy online, you have everything to look at online. They've all the, you know, product descriptions and stuff like that, which is really handy, because the Brown Thomas in Galway doesn't always have stuff that say the Brown Thomas in Cork and Dublin would have, or whatever. So it's just really handy, and it's good for coming up to Christmas and that. So like I said, there'll be swatches of these on my blog and any other information, and in the meantime, thanks a million for watching, so I'll chat to you soon. So long guys.